Hello everybody, and today we're looking at basically Boolean control. So what Boolean control really is it's either a true or a false inside your code. So it's kind of the more basic stuff in programming that we're going to be looking at. So in programming you can say true or false in most programming languages, and these are terms that mean something. So the first example I have here is if true, and then I have these curly brackets, which means you execute the code inside of here. So when will this run? Well, it's saying if, and then it's saying true. So this is always going to run. And how these programs work is I'm doing it in the create event, so this entire thing will run once. So every single time I run this program, this will be true, and this will run. So we're kind of just looking at the basic Booleans. So all of these are going to be the same. Like each time you run this program, it will be the exact same. But if you start introducing variables that are affected by if you're like pressing buttons or something, then that will not necessarily be true. So our second example, I have if false equals true. So basically I'm comparing these two. Is false the same thing as true? No, that's not. So this is not going to run. My computer will check over this and then see that this is not true and skip it. So what about the next one? If true equals true, well, that's true. True is the same thing as true, so this will run. The code inside here will run, and this equals is basically just seeing if these two are the same thing. Next is if not false equals true, and what this not does is it takes the opposite of whatever you're doing. So the opposite of false is true. And so these both are true, and this is true. So this is fairly simple stuff, but it just takes a little bit of getting used to. And then next I have a variable here. So this variable holds the false basically. So variables can hold lots of different things, and in GameMaker in specific, I don't have to declare this. So in some programming languages you might have to say bool or something in front of it, but I'm just saying var false. So if var false, which holds the value of false, does not equal false, then it comes out, then this won't run. Because basically I'm just negating this, and you can almost pretend that I'm saying true equals false, because this does not equal. So this is kind of a tricky one. And of course, when you're actually writing code, you're never going to want to purposely confuse yourself, obviously. So you will probably never see something like this, but there are some cases where it's really difficult to get the code quite right. So next we have the and. So basically it compares two things, and both of them have to be true in order for the entire thing to be true. So if false and false, this is not going to run because they both need to be true. So if one of them is true, it's not going to run. If both of them are false, it's going to come out as false. Only when both of them are true is it going to come out as true, or it's going to run. And then here we have the or. So only one of these needs to be true in order for this to run, or both can be true, but both of them can't be false, or else it wouldn't run. But in this case it does. So right here, this won't run. And actually, you can really combine all of these and make something very complicated very quickly. So if I just copied this into here, and then did or, and then did false, and then did not, so I just turned this entire thing into not. This just became very complicated very quickly, but basically it's kind of just like math. You just do what's in the parentheses first. So you start out with this is true, so true equals true. Well, that's true. So true or false, that's true. That would come out as true. And then lastly you do not. So what's not for true, well, it would just be false. So this would not run. And then lastly, I have one of the kind of nice uses of the not symbol that I actually only found out about after a few years of programming, which was very surprising because I find it very useful. So let's say you have a toggle. And what I mean by that is if you have a game where you press a lever or something, you want to switch some variable from its current state to the only other state it can be. So if it's currently false, all you have to do is the name of the variable and set it equal to not the name of the variable. And that's really just a toggle because it's setting itself to the opposite value. But of course, this only really works for Booleans, so true and false. And then lastly, you can also do comparing. So is 3 less than 5? Well, that's true. So this will in fact run. Alright, that was basically a quick, basic little introduction to different Boolean values that you can use and kind of a little bit of variables, but I hope you learned something, so thank you for watching.